I am so excited to be here today with Paul Feig, the writer and director of Spy, Jason Statham, and also Melissa McCarthy, the star of Spy. Do you know how you know this movie is really funny? Because there are so many different TV spots, and every single one of them is hilarious. So it's not like you found the one thing that worked, and now we have to watch that over and over and over. This movie is hilarious, so thank you for it. It was the best time. I can't wait to see it again. So you have specialized in these R-rated comedies with strong female characters. In this case, you have a female villain, a female protagonist, a female sidekick. There was not a lot of evidence that those kind of films worked in Hollywood before Bridesmaids and then The Heat. And how did you know, despite some evidence to the contrary, that that was a very, very winning formula and that you could do it right?
Well, I mean, it doesn't make any sense why it wouldn't. You know, it's such a silly thing. I just been told for years, because I would pitch female-themed movies, and they were like, "Oh no, you can't do that because they don't sell in these certain markets, and if foreign, people won't go see a movie with women." I was like, I guess so. And then after a while, you just hear it so much, you're like, let's not accept this anymore because it doesn't make any sense. You know, I mean, if you made like
it's crazy.
It's crazy. If you made a movie that every woman in the world went to, you'd have the highest grossing movie in the history of mankind. You know, but then at the same time, it's not. I don't want these things to be about like a male audience or female audience. It's funny people. And the only reason I know it's going to work is the people that I'm casting are some of the funniest people I know. And it doesn't matter what their gender is. And it's just silly that there's some kind of weird litmus test on it.
Melissa, when did you get the script for this or find out about the project?
Well, my husband Ben and I were at Paul and Lori's house having dinner, and he had just finished the script. And, you know, he was telling us a little bit about it and said like a couple sentences about it. And then we went back to people started talking about other things, and I was like, and then, well, what does she do after that? And like totally interrupting somebody who was talking. I was like, this is a great story. Anyway, when she comes out of the basement, and then we'd start talking about something else, and I was like, now is she good? Like, what's her skill set? And literally at one point, Ben was like, do you want Paul to just get the script out and like read it, do a reading for you? And I was like, if everybody else is okay with that, it seems kind of great. And I kept asking questions somewhat psychotically through the whole thing, through the whole dinner. And at the end I said, can I just read it? Can I read it? And then I swear to God, I'll stop asking you questions and I won't have to call you tomorrow with like 150 questions about the movie. I was like, well, then we won't talk about it, which was an incredible lie. And I read it that night. And by page 4, I started yelling to Paul. I was like, I love Susan Cooper. I love her. He's like, just get through stop screaming from the other room and read the whole thing. And I was like, oh my God, she's out of the basement. Like, it truly grabbed me in such a way. And then to see her really change and morph into this like strong, confident person, I called Paul the next day and I said, I beg you, please let me play Susan Cooper.
Jason, I knew from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and just seeing you interviewed that you're a very funny guy. But unless I'm wrong, it's the first time that I've seen you go so full bore on comedy like this.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, a lot of the roles I've had of recent, especially, have been these sort of internal sort of guys that, you know, don't say much. I think I said more in one of Paul's monologues than I've said in about 8 movies. Yes. So it's like, I can actually speak in this. Yeah.
And you speak a lot.
Yeah.
You say crazy things.
Yeah, I'd sort of dive down a never-ending hole with Paul. As quick as I could say it, there'd be another page of different material. So it'd be this conveyor belt of no more, please.
If you weren't so good and funny, it wouldn't happen. Exactly.
Let's talk about that for 1 second. You're on the set, and Paul is often handing you lines, or I mean, do you hand pieces of paper, or do you whisper in their ear?
Sometimes I call them out. Sometimes if I don't want other people to know, I'll hand in these Post-it notes so that they can surprise the other people.
Paul comes in like a creature with Post-its all over him, and then we look through it. He's like, "You like any of these?" But for Jason, he came in with like full sheets of legal pages because like I would get like a new line, and then Jason, I was like, I'm sorry. He would get literally like a chunk of dialogue like this, and then he would have to say it right away. I was like, best of luck.